Hello, good morning. My name is Praveen and I have submitted for XRP hackathon, and this is my project named Eventify. I have already submitted the project, but in this video we will talk about the code walkthrough. In my project I have already listed how I built this project, but I will go through the code once by one. So for the updating address we will do nothing, but in the option we just go through here and enter the our XRPL address and save it, and it will save in the local storage. We can find here in the local storage, and here is the wallet listed. Let's move to the next part, which is the explore page, or you can say the view our NFT. So this is the explore project, actually this one. So this calls the API known as get NFTs from the XRP. Let's talk about it. So this is the first. Let's how our repo works. Frontend includes all the client side code, and the backend part includes all the backend code API, and whatever codes are going to the ledger, they are going through this backend service. So as the standard routes are the entry point for our API routes. So let's start with it. As we talked about the get NFTs from the ledger, so this is the function which is responsible for this part. Here moving ahead, before that there are some constant and keys which we have initialized in .env file. You can modify according to your requirement. So let's talk about it. So our first part is XRP NFT helper. What is that? It's just a class which contains some details, initial details like what are the RPC address we are calling, or the WebSocket connection, and this is the timeout. We are in South Asian countries, so I have set the timeout to 15 seconds, but it is generally 5 seconds for the other reasons, and it contains the helper function which we will need it for our code. So our first part is get NFT from the ledger. It will just move to this function, get tokens from the ledger, and it will call the function called accounts NFT, and it gets the NFT. So this is our first function. Let's move to the another one. This is the burn, or you can say burn. So let's move to the burn one. This is the burn one. We are just calling the exam call. It will open the QR code and we need to just scan it, and it will perform the transaction. We are using the transaction type as NFT burn. Let's move to the next one. Manage event. In this, the create one, it is the most essential part. This architecture is also given in this part. So this is the API mint NFT. Let's talk about it. Is the exam mint part 2. This is the Pinata URL endpoint which we will be using. We get the form data from Formidable. So these are the memos which we are saving for our future purposes for the reference part. From the file path, we convert it to the base 64 to store in the JSON file which we will be uploading in the Pinata IBPFS. And these are the some constant, and here are the Pinata content which we will getting from the CID. So first we push the JSON file to the Pinata, and we get the IPFS hash or CID, and now we will just converting into hex and moving to the our ledger, and we need to sign the transaction. This is the conversion of the string to hex code, and this is the part we are signing the transaction. Once our NFT is signed, we are successful. Let's move the another part. Burn, I think we have already talked about, and this is the complete architecture. Before that I have implemented two other functions, create ticket and get ticket. Let's first get the tickets. These are the tickets. I have 9 tickets in a sequential manner. I can mint them. I have created these 9 tickets from this option. You can easily create. Let's move to the code base. So this is a helper function, get payload, to know the if transaction is in the pending state or completed or cancelled by the user. So create ticket, which we have talked about. This is a transaction type create ticket, and the amount of ticket which we initialize in the client side, and sequence what we get from the XRPL Ledger. and we sign the transaction and it's done. That's easy. And what we are the tickets info, it's get easily from the ledger. So these are the things what I have implemented. And the last part is the mint tickets. It is a little bit complicated one, but I will try to implement in the shortest period of time. In this we mint NFTs on the behalf of the tickets generated previously. Actually it is a problem because we have to sign each transaction manually in a for loop. That's why we will try to fix after some time. So that's the complete architecture. Thank you.